Hey guys! Thought that I'd hop back on YouTube and tell you guys why I've been gone for like a year now and update you guys on what's going on in my life. So, I think my last post was over a year ago, my last post on YouTube. So, if you've been keeping up with my Instagram, at Make Me Up Catherine, then you would see that my last post was last summer on there. So either way, it's been a really long time. Since then, since last summer, I've moved 3 times and I got my undergraduate degree at University of Oregon in sociology and political science. So I'm really happy about that. After I graduated, actually, I went to Africa for a month. I went to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro with my family. Unfortunately, me and my dad didn't make it to the top. My dad could have made it, but the reason he went down was because he wanted to go down with me because I started getting really bad altitude sickness. Basically, altitude sickness is just, sorry if this is TMI, but throwing up, you can't eat, you can barely walk around. That's how I was feeling anyways, because my body just felt so weak. I didn't eat for like 3 days. I maybe had a piece of bread once a day, and I tried to scarf down some soup, but I would always just throw it right back up. And then I would have to hike for 8 hours a day in really cold conditions, and it was really steep. And so it was just a very, very, very difficult climb, especially for me. So I went down to the bottom and I made a ton of friends. So Kilimanjaro is in Tanzania, Africa. And then it's right outside of a city called Arusha. And so I stayed in Arusha in this little area called Mianzini. And I made a bunch of friends. I experienced the clubbing scene on the weekends, which is honestly, at least at UO, at University of Oregon, it was just like Taylor's. So if you know what that is, it's basically a bar, but there's a dance floor. So that's what the clubs are in Africa. And yeah, it was so much fun though. It was so much fun. I'm actually planning on going back in May, so I'm really excited about that. But okay, let's backtrack a little bit. So before I went to Africa, I moved 3 times. It was the worst. Moving 1 time is already kind of shitty, So what happened was my lease was up in Oregon at the end of September. So, I had expected for a year to be moving that day. And so I moved into this little tiny house, and it was actually just an Airbnb because I was only going to be in Oregon for another 3 months, and so I didn't want to sign another lease. But my best friend was like, okay, Kat, I'm going to stay in Oregon also. I want to stay with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank God, yay, I don't have to live by myself. And so she stayed with me, but the house was super, super tiny. It was a studio basically, so it didn't even have any bedrooms. But, we made it work. We stayed in there together. She had her boyfriend over sometimes, but it was all good because I was really good friends with her boyfriend too. And so it was kind of fun, it was a fun little house, but our landlord kicked us out because I babysat my friend's puppy, and she was like strictly no dogs. But I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to bring this dog in. I need to watch it for like 30 minutes. So I brought the dog in, didn't think that she would even see, but she texts me not even 10 minutes after the dog comes in, and she's flipping out, and she's like, I cannot believe you've done this. Like, you need to get out within the next 7 days. There's no excuses, all this stuff. And I was like, okay, honestly, thank God, because this person is the most annoying person ever. The house is really tiny. And so me and my best friend looked forever for a new house, and we found one, and it was actually huge, and it was the same price as our tiny house. And it was right next to the bus station, so I could go to class and stuff really easily, and so it was really nice. But we had to move all of our stuff, pack it all up again, get a moving truck, move it over there, unpack. So it was really disturbing for the beginning of my last semester ever of college, my last term, because we're on the quarter system, but my last term ever of college. But we made it work. So that was the second time we had to move. And then the third time was the end of the term. I had to move from Oregon to Raleigh, North Carolina. So I moved all the way across the country. I got a U-Haul and I drove it. Thankfully, my dad came and helped me. But we drove it all the way across the country and moved into this apartment that I'm in right now. Maybe in a couple weeks I'll do a home tour for you guys. You guys can see my cute apartment. It was not so cute when I first moved in, but I got some new furniture, I got some paintings that I put up around the house, and I'll tell you guys all about that in the house tour if I do that. Let me know if you guys want me to do that, because I definitely will. I love home decor, so I'm totally up to show you guys that. But anyways, is about a week after I moved here, that's when I had to pack up all over again and go to Africa. And I just got back yesterday from Africa. So my flight was on Monday. I traveled for 24 hours to get to New York City. I drove from there to my sister's house in Philadelphia, which was like an hour and a half away, no big deal. And stayed there. And then yesterday I woke up early in the morning and drove down to Raleigh. So today's been my first day just hanging out at home. I cleaned a little bit, but honestly I've been so lazy. But anyways, the next step is that I actually got an internship at this awesome company called Cure Americas Global. My dream since I was a little girl was to work in a nonprofit industry. I've always been really passionate about third world countries and people that are in need, especially in the health world and hunger. So health and hunger are my two main passions. And this company, Cure Americas Global, is a Christian company, and they focus on global health. Their website is super cool, and they have branches all over the world, and so you guys should definitely check that out. I think it's cureamericasglobal.org. I'll double check that, and I'll put that in the caption below. But yeah, I think I'm starting that on Monday. I'm in contact with my supervisor, and so I'm trying to figure out exactly what day that I want to start. But I think that I'm going to start on Monday, and then I think I'm going to be there for 3 months, and then I'm going to go back to Africa. I had one of the craziest experiences in Africa, and I need to tell you guys the story. Okay, so my dad worked with a guy named Tim Andrews in San Francisco. They worked auditing at BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, if you guys know what that is. And it's just like the subway station, train station in the San Francisco area. And so, but they worked together 30 years ago, and then while I was in Africa, he was telling me about him, and my dad was telling me about Tim Andrews and saying how he went on to become the national director of World Vision Tanzania, which is where we were. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. That would get me, I should talk to him and see if he has any advice for me about this nonprofit industry, or better yet, if he could help me out in it at all, just to see. It's good to have connections, And so we had been Googling him. He hadn't talked to Tim in like 30 years, since they were working together. And so I had been Googling him and trying to find his email and emailing people that he worked with, because I didn't have his email directly. And I hadn't heard back, but I was just hanging out in Tanzania. I was like, okay, I'll take care of it when I get back to America. And so one day, this was actually just last Saturday. Yeah, it was last week on Saturday. My dad had done a motocross race in Tanzania, and we were invited to this get-together barbecue at this guy's house, and we were like, oh yeah, of course, like, we'd love to come. We're always down to make new friends, especially in Tanzania where we don't know that many people. And so we go to the barbecue, we're making conversation, there's such amazing people there, amazing food, we're having so much fun. We get up to get some more of the potato salad because it was amazing. And there's this guy talking about like how he made the potato salad, or he was talking to his wife about the way that he made it, I guess. And my dad looks up and goes, Tim Andrews? And in my head, I was like, Dad, relax. Like, we're going to find him. Wait until we go back to America. So I, like, look at him, and I was like, Dad. And then this guy that was talking about the potato salad turns around and is like, yeah? Like, I'm Tim Andrews. And I was, like, mind blown. I was seriously mind blown. And so we sat down and talked, and they were catching up. They hadn't seen each other in 30 years. They run into each other at this guy's barbecue in Tanzania, Africa. It was the craziest experience. And then me, of course, had a few glasses of wine down, and I introduced myself as Glenn's son. Glenn is my dad's name. I was like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Glenn's son. It was really, really embarrassing. But, you know, I was like, honestly, you know, just... never mind, I'm Glenn's daughter, Catherine. Nice to meet you. I'm interested in the nonprofit field. Let's talk about that. So that's what happened there, but we had a really good conversation, and so I'm really excited for my upcoming career and my internship here and going back to Africa and exploring that, you know, working in the field. And so I will keep you guys updated on what happens with that. But back to my makeup channel topic, I do want to start doing my makeup videos again, hair videos. I could even show you guys, I wax my own eyebrows and my lip, and so I could show you guys how I do that if you want, because it actually took me so much practice to do it, and nobody on YouTube was there to show me how to wax my own eyebrows except for like professionals. So I was like, okay, somebody needs to be on here that doesn't know what they're doing, showing me how to do something that I don't know what I'm doing. So I could be that for you if you guys want. Just let me know in the comments below, and then subscribe to my channel, and I will for sure be actually uploading videos at least bi-weekly and weekly if I can, but I'm going to start off as bi-weekly because I don't want to get your guys' hopes up on me posting a video every week and then not being able to achieve that. And so I am going to upload my first makeup video this coming Sunday on January 27th, and then bi-weekly after that. So let me know if there's anything specific that you guys want to see. And I hope you enjoyed this video updating you guys about my life. Let me know how you guys are doing, and have a good rest of your day.